An absolute pleasure to have you on our first ever edition of lcpioneers.com Live. I am Ryan Goff. We appreciate you joining us wherever you may be as we get an opportunity to have interviews with student athletes, coaches, folks from the Lewis and Clark College community and elsewhere join us, hopefully on an ongoing basis. Give an opportunity to talk to them about what's going on with classes off site right now, everyone doing remote learning, how athletes are getting through training, trying to keep at the top of their game, going through this brand new experience to everyone. Also, going to get some insights from folks who are key to the Lewis and Clark College community about things that Lewis and Clark does incredibly well, the opportunities that exist in the city of Portland. It's going to be an all out fun time that we hope you can join us every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 11:30. It only takes about 20 minutes. We'll have a chance to talk to guests like our guest today. We'll speak with Lewis and Clark cross country head coach Matthew Barreau, have a chance to talk to him about his first season and kind of unique perspective too, because track and field with head coach Aaron Campbell and Coach Barreau, they actually got through a season. It wasn't the full outdoor season, but they got through a season, the indoor season. We'll have a chance to talk to him about some of the records that were set, as those were big opportunities for the student athletes to compete before obviously everything that's happened with coronavirus in the entire country and the world. I'm Ryan Goff. I'm the play-by-play voice for Lewis and Clark, also director of athletic communications. We are located in Portland, Oregon. Compete in NCAA Division III for the Northwest Conference against schools from Oregon and Washington. Invite you to connect with us, LC Pioneers, on Twitter, Instagram, or you can email us as well, sports@lclark.edu. You can also leave comments in our Facebook Live sessions. Again, we'll be on Tuesday through Friday at 11:30. A couple of things I want to turn your attention to is if you visit our website, lcpioneers.com, chance to see what's going on in the Lewis and Clark community. Right now, front page story is the fact that there is an entrepreneurship, leadership, and innovation minor that was just approved by the faculty. You can see why that's such a big deal because already Lewis and Clark has been doing big things in the entrepreneurship realm. They have the Bates Center for Entrepreneurship and Leadership, which is a huge opportunity for student athletes, students alike, to go out into the entrepreneurial world with some skills under their belt, including our awesome Wintrum that's happened over the last or so years. It's a 1 week session that students do between the semesters, and it gives them some really good hands-on learning with leaders who are either Lewis and Clark alumni or entrepreneurial leaders throughout the community of Portland and beyond. There's pitch meetings, opportunity to get funding for different endeavors that they're interested in. So I invite you to check it out right now at lcpioneers.com. We also have a letter from our interim director of athletics and physical education, Mark Petrock, and Zeke Crawford, who was named D3hoops.com All West Region. He was the first Pioneers men's basketball student athlete to get that honor since the early 2000s. So be sure to check that out. I also invite you to go to lclark.edu too. If you do have any questions about the latest, how Lewis and Clark is adapting to the needs of students and the community because of coronavirus, you can go to lcpioneers.com/coronavirus and get to the Lewis and Clark fact page that they have set up as well. It's an exciting time. We appreciate you joining us, as I mentioned, and excited to bring in our first guest of lcpioneers.com Live, first guest of the day, head coach Matthew Barreau of cross country. He is the head cross country coach in his first year for Lewis and Clark Athletics. Coach Barreau, it's great to have you on the first edition of LC Pioneers Live. All right, we're going to make sure we get your audio in there because I don't think I have that necessarily. Let me fix something there. Let's go ahead and see if you're there with us. I got the USB device activated. Go ahead and give that unplug and back in. We're doing this all on the fly, which is always interesting, right? Because we're trying to make video conferencing work in different places, have a chance to try to bring people in from all over the place. So it's definitely an interesting time for us to get these things done. Let me see if it's there now. Coach, are you there with us? All right. This is why you always test. It's important. All right. Let me try this. I'm going to do one more adjustment and see if we can get you onto our stream and have a chance to talk to you. Okay. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Worst case scenario, I'll have you just talk into our microphone here and see if we can hear you. All right, checking that one now and seeing if it's coming through. Any chance? That's just a big bummer. It's a big bummer, Coach. I don't know what's going on there necessarily to not be able to get your audio in. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show this first and troubleshoot that. One of the reasons we wanted to have you on is if you go to youtube.com/lcpios, it's one of the only social media channels that we don't have as LC Pioneers. It's just LC Pios. You have a chance to check out a campus tour video that Coach Barreau and Coach Hayes of volleyball we're able to do. We're going to play some of that right now. We'll work on trying to get Coach Barrow's audio live with us. Again, stay tuned. lcpioneers.com live. We'll be back in just a moment. So that was our video that we showed on LC Pioneers YouTube channel. You can find it LC Pioneers on YouTube is youtube.com/LC Pios. Coach, we have you a little bit. We want to bring you in. This is a really cool thing that you and Coach Hayes were able to do. I mean, what, 90 minutes that you were out and about on this beautiful campus, including the graduate school and the law school. Describe what that experience was like for you.
Well, 90 minutes on our campus is probably even shorter than you want to be out there. It's such a beautiful place, so I really don't mind being out there. We really wanted to just be able to share what the campus was like with people, and you know that right now when people aren't able to come visit, we needed to do something, and we wanted to try and give that personal touch, even though you weren't able to be there in person. So Coach Hayes and I gave a tour. We went on both Instagram and Facebook Live, and enjoy a nice, beautiful sun.
Well, that's an absolute fact. I mean, this is an opportunity for people to get out and see what's going on in Lewis and Clark athletics and throughout this campus. You're in your first year, and you're from Oregon, so by no means was the beauty of the Pacific Northwest lost on you when you got here. We sometimes have to introduce people to that. I'm curious though, when you look at Lewis and Clark in general, what are the first two things that you talk to people about when it comes to the campus specifically?
Oh, just to, I think the thing that I said first and foremost in my interview when I was getting hired was it's home. It feels like home. And I know I'm coming home specifically to the Northwest, but it feels like that for you when you're on campus. It's a peaceful campus. It's serene. My wife calls it Girl Scout camp. She said it felt like a Girl Scout camp. It just, the beauty of the nature, the peacefulness, is fantastic. And then just the juxtaposition of being right next to downtown Portland is such an amazing opportunity. You feel like you're in your own world in this nice, peaceful place on campus, but you have all the opportunities available to you uh, of downtown Portland. So those would probably be the two main things that I hit on with people.
He's head coach Matthew Barreau of Lewis and Clark Cross Country, joining us on lcpioneers.com/live. You can go ahead and share a comment in our Facebook comments if you want to. You can also connect with us at LC Pioneers on Twitter and at LC Pioneers on Instagram as well. I said that your team, in conjunction with Coach Campbell, uh, indoor season actually got completed, which, given what happened with the majority of spring sports and coronavirus, most student athletes didn't get that robust of an opportunity. It was also one of the biggest indoor seasons I feel like Lewis and Clark athletics has ever had in recent memory. What was the indoor season like for your student athletes, and highlight some of the top performances for us this year?
My track team as a whole, we're just in the midst of a culture shift, and indoors not been primary focus for the program in history. So uh, we're trying to shift this to be um, part of the overall experience of excellence, and to be competitive at the national level, which is ultimately our goal. You have to understand that the indoor season does exist, even though we don't have a conference championship in it. So it's a unique experience for us, and trying to get kids to understand that this is a time to be competitive as well was just kind of our first challenge this year. With that said, we were able to break some school records. And I think Morgan Taylor broke the 60-meter hurdle school record. I think we broke the 400-meter school record. I'm lost on who did it right now, but I know we broke that. And then in the distance events, we did break the 5,000-meter school record with the boys with Sean Richardson, and the women's 3,000-meter school record and the men's 3,000-meter school record. Madeline Swanberg broke that for the women, and Sean for the men. And then the mile indoor school record, Madeline broke as well. So part of that is we've not run it consistently in the past, and but it's no discredit to the people who broke the school records this year, because just as our namesake of our college is, we're pioneers, and we have to do something that nobody's ever done before, and creating that new standard for what it means to move forward.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, this is the opportunity for you to kind of set the expectations, the new opportunities that exist to compete in the Northwest Conference, which is one of the best Division III conferences in the country. You talk about Sean Richardson and Madeline Swanberg. Uh, those are two people on the opposite ends of their collegiate careers. You have Madeline, who was named Northwest Conference Freshman of the Year for cross country. Sean, who certainly could have been in the qualification for outdoor championships after qualifying for cross country. What do you see about those two and some of the examples that they've set for what you want from this cross country and distance program in the future?
They set two different examples. One of them sets a standard for what you can do over the course of 4 years, and um, what you can do at the highest level. And Madeline shows a lot of youth and exuberance, and uh, just wide-eyedness about what the future can hold. And so I think Sean was able to plant a seed with people this year about uh, what a top end performance can look like and how exciting that can be. And Madeline's providing some of that excitement about a new direction for the program as a whole, and what a bigger impact can be created here when a group starts believing in things. So, besides just Madeline, she's getting a lot of the accomplishments and kudos because she's been our fastest girls to this point this year. But the whole women's team has been following suit, whether it was in cross country, um, going from last to third in the conference, or whether it's her fellow freshmen, Jillian Pfeiffer, Hannah Callanan, both kind of becoming brand new levels of themselves. They're just starting to see these new possibilities, and it's great that uh, Sean had an amazing career. We're um, really bummed about how the outdoor season got canceled for the seniors. Most notably, it's frustrating for everybody, but for the seniors, there's a particular level of disappointment. Um, and then, especially those seniors who had some very specific and particular national level goals, it's even tougher to kind of swallow at times. But um, by no means it devalues what they've meant to this program, what they've brought to this university, and what their experience overall will be. And so uh, we we definitely need to just keep showing them the value that they've meant to us, and uh, I think that we'll be able to carry that on with people like Madeline and uh, the other the other young people in this program. All the commitments we're getting now, what they establish over the next 4 years is going to be just kind of a reflection and reward for what Sean and the other seniors have meant.
Well, it was a lot of fun to follow Sean and get to see his opportunity to compete at nationals. Certainly, what's ahead for Madeline and your whole entire program from the cross country perspective. Can't wait to have the track and field student athletes back out there as well. Obviously, all the spring sports. I mean, at this point, sports. I mean, it's going to be exciting when everything returns and gives us an opportunity to compete. With all that said, you have student athletes who are adapting to living back at home. The vast majority of students are off Lewis and Clark campus. Everyone is taking classes
Yeah.
remotely. Uh, how has everyone adapted to that? What are some of the traits that you've seen that's impressed you from your team?
Well, we've got Matt White and Connor Robertson's enjoying the Southern California temperatures right now. We've got Madeline back on her skis a little bit more in Montana. So everybody is definitely adapting to different situations and different scenarios. But I think the thing that I've enjoyed most is seeing the people reconnect with their homes and their families, and um, they're making the most of this. They're keeping in touch about their training, though I don't think that that's the most important thing right now. We've done some things with the training to allow a sense of normalcy to continue with them, uh, but also let them understand that the adjustments they're facing with switching to online learning, which is a new, it's not a new concept, but it's new in application for them. Um, and learning how to study at home when there's distractions of family and friends, and you know the non-structure of not being in a classroom setting. So I've been impressed by people keeping in touch, and I've been impressed by the positivity that people have shown during this time. We have a very intelligent group and a very committed group, and um, they just kind of continue to impress me. Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
What the latest is about the programs that's head coach cross country. Matthew Barreau. Want to wrap up with this and give you a look at what's ahead on lcpioneers.com live. We are going to have um, our scheduled events. Ishan Mohammed from Women's Golf will join us tomorrow. She is a writer for the Piolog, which is the Lewis and Clark student newspaper, and they had a very impressive edition talking about coronavirus and the impact it was having all across the Lewis and Clark community. Good perspective too on how it was affecting things on a bigger picture as well. She's in her first year competing for Lewis and Clark athletics and her sophomore year overall at Lewis and Clark. So excited to have her join us tomorrow. And then no show on Thursday. Had already given availability for something I want to work with on the Northwest Conference side on Thursday during this time slot. So we won't have a show Thursday. Otherwise, we are planning to do 4 days a week, Tuesday through Friday at 11:30 Pacific time. We will have Cassie Komtani join us on Friday. She was a Northwest Conference champion in her senior year during the 2018-19 academic year and was the nominee for Lewis and Clark for the NCAA Woman of the Year. So excited to talk to her about those things in her past. And in her future, she is a student at the Lewis and Clark Law School as well. So can't wait to talk to her on Friday as well. 11:30 Tuesday through Friday. We'll hope you join us again. Opportunity to get involved as you can message us, LC Pioneers, and that's on Twitter and Instagram, as well as in the comments during the Facebook Lives and sports@lclark.edu. Again, I'm Ryan Goff. Thanks for having fun with us. Be sure to tune in Lewis and Clark Volleyball, LC Pios VB. They have a coffee chat coming up at noon. They do it Tuesday and Thursdays at noon with head coach Emily Hayes. And then tomorrow on Instagram from the Lewis and Clark College handle, that's going to be a live Q&A. They've been doing some really neat things with some of the admissions counselors and students' perspective of what it's like to be a student in Portland and at Lewis and Clark. That is on the Instagram page for Lewis and Clark College. Literally what I just said, Lewis and Clark College is their handle at 4:30 tomorrow. Until then, we hope to see you again soon. Big thanks again to Coach Barreau for joining us. I'm Ryan Goff. We'll talk to you again soon on Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time for Lewis and Clark, lcpioneers.com live. Goodbye, everybody.
I think everyone should take intro to chemistry because the chemistry department here is phenomenal. Everyone I've known has had a good experience with everyone in that department, so I think it's a worthwhile course to take.
What is one class that everyone should take at Lewis and Clark? I really enjoyed Education in a Complex World. You kind of get to discuss all the issues that exist within education today, and you get to kind of explore that by going to classrooms firsthand and volunteering with children, which I thought was a really wonderful experience.
One class that everybody should take at Lewis and Clark is anything with Kundai Chirindo. I think he definitely changed how I thought about rhetoric and media studies and just education in general.
For me, it was International Affairs, just Intro to International Affairs, because I think it really gives a good perspective on important issues around the world.
I'm Ann Bentley. I'm an associate professor of chemistry, and in this research group, I supervise the 2 students working in the Rogers program this summer in our lab. The brown bag experience is a good chance for students to get experience presenting their work that they've done in the lab, especially to an audience that's not technical.
What's intriguing about the brown bag experience is it incorporates all of the Rogers program. So I'm able to hear people in the psychology department and what research they're doing, but it also gives us the opportunity to share our research with the greater science community at Lewis and Clark. And for incoming students, the summer program is really beneficial for getting opportunity in research. So I've had the opportunity for research in the past, but other students may not have the same opportunities. So it's nice to work in a professional lab setting and potentially have the opportunity to publish a paper, which looks really good moving on into doing professional research out in the field.
The students grow a lot during the summer in their ability to learn the techniques and apply the techniques and suggest their own ideas for what could come next and interpret their data. It's just a big, usually if they haven't done research before, they learn a lot in that short period of time.